Hello, hello everybody. Welcome in. Welcome to Watch Me Wednesday. I am so happy to have you here today. I have another tutorial for you and I think you're going to like it. Say hi if you're just stopping in. I'd love to see you and see who's all here and where you're from. I am having a great Wednesday thus far. I've gotten some sewing done this morning and I plan on doing a little more later. How are you? Hi Linda, how are you? Hi Patty, how are you? Welcome in, welcome. Good to see you all here. People are still coming in. I will be doing a tutorial today. Hi Sue. Hi Diane, good to see you all. The tutorial I'll be doing today is on the quilt behind me. I know a lot of you are intrigued by it. Hi Teresa, hi Jackie, hi Hilda and Julie, good to see you. Deb, good to see you. I'm glad you are all here. Hi Mary Beth and Gail. I love this new format, by the way. I hope you all like this new format. Give me a thumbs up if you like this new format. I really do. And as I've done in the past couple weeks, I am going to be doing my tutorial. And then at the end, I will be taking questions from all of you. And I cannot wait to see what questions you have. So make sure that if you have questions, wait till the end of the tutorial and then put them in your comments and you'll see them up on the screen like so, like Gail saying hi. You'll see your question up there so that everybody else can see that question and I will be able to answer that question for you. Hopefully I'll have answers, right? So save your questions till the end. If you so desire, I would love it if you could share this video right now with your quilting friends. That would be awesome because then we can have more participate and I would love to answer whatever questions you have and hopefully this is something that you're gonna really like. The quilt behind me is my pattern Link 'em Up and a lot of you might think it's a drunkard's path but it's not. So that's kind of what's cool about it and you're going to see some really cool things that I'm going to show you and I hope that you really like it. Let's see, and Pam is here. I'm just seeing who else is coming in and giving me a thumbs up. I appreciate that and I appreciate you sharing. So while people are still coming in and getting settled in, I am going to, there's Kristen. Hey, Kristen, and hey, Wendy. Wendy's from Arkansas. Good to see you. I am going to get started in just a few seconds and you'll be getting the 3 different views from the 3 different cameras that I have been showing over the past couple weeks and I hope that you enjoy those views. You'll get a nice close-up of me doing the work right here on the cutting mat and on the sewing machine. So that should be really cool for you. But it's made in a triangle, not a square. Well, Patty, so Patty is, here I'll show you what Patty is saying. It's made in a triangle, but not a square. Well, there really is kind of a square and you'll see it soon. So I will let you in on all that as soon as I get this started and going. So Patty, hold on to that thought and we'll get some questions answered probably as we go along, but any other questions, please make sure when I'm done with the tutorial that you put them in your comments and I'll pull them up on screen. Oh, I'm so sorry, Brenda, that it is cold in Ohio. Yes, I am doing well here. It is actually really nice. It's 79 degrees today. I'm sure you probably didn't want to hear that. Anyway, so how about we get started? I am going to put the timer up on the screen and I am going to introduce the tutorial to you. So let's get it going, okay? Well, Hello to all of you who are just joining me now. I am going to get started on my Link 'em Up tutorial, or my links and curves tutorial. So I'm going to put a little graphic up here on the screen so you can see that's my pattern, Link 'em Up, and the template set I am using is my Links and Curves template set. So let's get started. I'm going to show you, I'm going to take you down to the other camera view, and I'm going to put me in the corner here so you can see me just in case you want to. Anyway, my Links and Curves set is a kind of like a half of a bow tie shape there and a quarter circle. So in the pattern that I have, you actually do get the templates that you can trace them on a template plastic if you want, so you don't have to purchase my templates, but it does make it easier for you because they are ruler weight. So basically what you would be doing with your templates is you're going to be placing them onto strips, and what I like to do is I like to stack my fabrics up and then cut. So, and I actually put on the back of these Invisigrip, so when you press down on them, it actually will hold them in place a little better. And then you're just going to take your rule or your rotary cutter and you're going to cut around the shape. And then if you have a little turning mat, which I can't turn it right now only because I have my computer sitting on top of it, you're going to go ahead and you're going to cut your shapes out. Okay, so you're going to cut those out. And in the pattern behind me, so let me put that up on the screen real quick so you can see. Well, actually, I'll show you a better view later. I did brightly colored quarter circles and then blacks versus the whites that you see. And then you're going to take this template, you're going to lay it down on your strip, and you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to cut along the edges, and it just makes it super simple so that you don't have to use template plastic. So I won't finish cutting that, but you get the general idea. So you're going to cut out a variety of the bow tie shapes, and I'm going to show you what I've got cut out thus far. Okay, so I've got cut out, I've got some black shapes from the half the bow tie, and I've got some quarter circle shapes from the colors, and I've also got some quarter circle shapes from the blacks and some quarter circle shapes from the colors. And you need both. You need both ways to create the design, so that's super important. So make sure you do that. I am going to show you how to join the curve now, and then I am going to show you what it actually ends up looking like and how you can arrange it so it's arranged similar to the quilt behind me. So let's go ahead and join a curve here, because I know a lot of you are probably wondering how I do curves, and that's kind of important. So a couple things that I do use. I do use a Fons and Porter's glue pen, and these are the glue refills. I do have them on my website for purchase if you'd like to, and I use these in all my online classes and in-person classes that I teach. They take the place of pins basically. And I use a purple fang, and you'll see what I use that for when I get to the sewing, and my pins. So I actually am going to use only 2 pins, and these are the pins that I love, and I sell those also on my website, and they're very fine, super fine pins. They're glass head orange and green. These both are orange, but anyway. So I am going to go ahead and I am going to, this is the shape we want to get. And yes, I know Patty said they were not in the shape of squares, but you'll see what I mean when they do get into them. Anyway, so we want to match up these edges here on the outside first. So we're going to turn it right sides together. Now I know I realize I'm using batiks, and if you're using a print, you're just going to make sure it is right sides together. Now I am taking my pin, and I'll zoom in on this in a second. I'm taking my pin and I'm weaving it into the edges. I'm matching those edges up as perfectly as I can. There is absolutely no gap. Those edges are lined up. So let me go ahead and zoom in on that so that you can see what I did here. Okay, hang on. And we're going to zoom in. So there you can see how that is woven into the edge, keeping that edge nice and even with one another. Now this is where I take my glue pen. And take my glue pen, and I'm going to keep my quarter circle down on a hard surface. That's important. I don't want to do this up in the air because this is pretty flimsy right now. And all I'm going to do is peel away that top layer, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue. I'm putting it inside the seam allowance, and I'm matching up the edge of that top piece to that bottom piece. I'm not pulling, I don't want to pull on this because this is a bias edge, so that's super important. I'm just putting a little bit of glue and I'm matching up those edges as I go. Now, if you're a left-hander, you're probably going to work from the opposite direction. But if you cut these accurately, these will work perfectly. You will have enough fabric once you meet the other side. You don't have to find the middle. If you feel like you want to find the middle, you certainly can do so. That's not a problem. But you just go and you could, this is something that you can do like at nighttime too while you're watching TV. You can set up all your curves and they'll be ready to sew. Now see how nice and easy that went together? So now this is ready for me to take to the sewing machine. So we're going to do that now. I'm going to take it to the sewing machine. We're going to switch the camera. We're going to come over here. Now I've got in my sewing machine, I've got my 1/4 inch foot, and I am going to, I have my stitch length set at 2.0. I have my needle in needle down position, and I am going to use my purple thang. So if you can see, my purple thang has this little like kind of bent edge. I'm using that as my like a third finger. I'm going to keep my any fabric that I feel is in front of the needle, which there really isn't. I'm going to keep my purple thang right there inside there, keeping it away from my fabric. Take your pin out because you don't need it anymore. And you're just gonna sew with that 1/4 inch, the 1/4 inch foot right along the edge of your fabric. Nice and easy. I mean, you get used to this, you can go faster, obviously. There's not a lot of bulk at the top, and you're putting that 1/4 circle down at the bottom towards your feed dogs, which is super important. And you have control over any bulk at the top because you're using that purple thang to push any bulk out of the way. When you get to the other end, remove your pin. And if you've got all your curves set up, you can start loading the next one in. And then once it's loaded in, you just chain piece. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and cut. And I'm going to switch your camera again to the overview, and you can see what we're going to do next. So then now you've got that curve all set and ready to go, which is very cool. You're going to take it and you're going to press this to this like kind of half of the bow tie shape. You're going to press it there. Now what I want to do is I'm going to zoom out because I want you to see how then you start to put this together. Okay, and you can kind of design slightly. So let me take some of these pieces here that I've already done, and you can see I've done some with the bow tie on the outside with the color and the black on the inside. And so let's kind of do some here, okay? So we're going to do let's try and do it this way. I know I don't have much camera room here, but you're going to get the gist of it, okay? So, and then let's take a black one here, black outside. Oh, no, let's do a red one here. Okay, and then let's do orange here. And then let's do a green or orange here. So you can kind of see where you can kind of start playing and forming shapes, but do you see why you need a black, or your background needs to be both the bow tie and the quarter circle? See how there's kind of a shape going on here now? Isn't that pretty cool? Now, where in reference to Patty's comment on it's not in a square, well, it is. There's your square. Okay, can you see it now? That's the square. But you have to lay this out on a design wall because you will get different variations. And I'm going to pop up a few pictures here. So this one here is my Lava Lamps quilt that is in my book, Splash of Color. So you can see the variation, what I did, and how it differs from my Link 'em Up quilt, which is right. Oops, let me get rid of this one so I can show you the Link 'em Up quilt. Okay, you can see how it's a different variation. Now, I think my Quilt Inspector is about to jump up here. Crazy cat. Anyway, so that's the variation. So depending on how you do your backgrounds and your colors is going to depend on how the actual end design looks, if that makes sense. So let me switch my camera back. Whoops, where are we there? There we are. Okay, so that's, you know, the variation here with the white background and the black color, or the color in the links per se, is different. So I want to show you a few things. And no, you can't come through. My Quilt Inspector wants to come over here and lay down while I'm working. He was laying in his little bed. Anyway, so let me, I want to finish up here, and then I'm going to show you a few more things. So that was the tutorial on how you put them together. And here he comes. Here comes my guy. So let's get him out because he's going to lay right on the computer. Say hi to him. There's my buddy. Whoop. Okay, you're going down, bud. There we go. Always good to have an inspector coming in. Anyway, that's the tutorial. Now we're going to get to questions and answers. Okay, so let me get my counter off because I finished the tutorial, but I want to show you a few things. So the Link 'em Up pattern is what you see behind me. You can also play with Link 'em Up in Quiltster by kind of doing your own colorway, etc. But I also have, like I showed you, the Lava Lamps quilt. He's coming back for more now, guys. I hope you don't mind him coming in to the picture. Here he comes. He is persistent because he just wants to be. I'm going to let him stay there because I'm not going to do the overhead camera version. So here he is. Here's my guy. I hope you like my guy. Give him a little love. Give him some hearts. He wants loving too. So here's my Lava Lamps quilt. So you can see from the quilt behind me and my Lava Lamps quilt how the design is much different. Okay. And I use different colors and a different way to lay out. Now that's in my book. And you can use the template set for that. The book is that book. If you don't have it, I do have that in my shop, and you can use the templates with that. Now I will tell you, the template set, the Links and Curves template set, is a little larger than the actual templates from the book. Same shape, same everything, but the one in the book is scaled down a little bit. So you just have to scale up your yardage if you want to do the Lava Lamps quilt. So which is kind of cool. So you can still use the templates with that. Anyway, so let's get to some questions. So shoot with your questions. I think I see one here from Janice. Let's see what Janice has to say. Could you strip piece the center section of the square and cut the bow tie shape after? Well, could you strip piece it? I'm not quite sure I'm envisioning what you're saying, because I guess well, it would be difficult because you'd have to know where you want your colors to be. Your template, the template includes your 1/4 inch, so you'd have to take that into factor. I personally, I'm not sure that I would do it that way. It gives you, doing it the way I showed you, gives you a little more room to play with your colors when you're putting them on your design wall and moving them around. So I'm pretty sure you can make it happen, but I'm not sure that's the way that I would go about it. And that's me. I think you'd have to do a little thinking there as far as your 1/4 inch seam allowance and the cutting in the end. So I hope that answers your question, Janice. Let's see who else has questions. Yes, he does want to say hi, my Quilt Inspector. Okay, so let's see. Donna's got a question. Were you using a walking foot? No, I was not using a walking foot. The only time I would use a walking foot is if I was quilting multiple layers. So I was using a 1/4 inch foot. Let me pop it off, and that's my 1/4 inch foot. So that's what I was using, 1/4 inch foot. Do you see? You showing, buddy? Showing the 1/4 inch foot? I was using 1/4 inch foot. Always use a 1/4 inch foot for piecing, unless you're like doing some quilting or something and you want to go through multiple layers. That would be the only time. This machine has a built-in walking foot, so I don't even need to add that. Anyway, so that's that. Let's see what other questions you guys have. Let's see. If you've got more questions, type them in. I'm scrolling back here to see. Let's see, Deb. Oops, where's Deb? Why aren't you going up there? Deb says, what pattern is this, Deb? That is my Link 'em Up pattern. That is this pattern. Link 'em Up, right here. Link 'em Up. And like I said, it does come with the templates inside, so you don't need to purchase the rulers. You can create your own out of, template plastic. I don't know why I couldn't come up with the word. So that's the pattern. And there are a couple other patterns too, and one other pattern anyway. Yes, Deb, I have a dual feed mechanism. Let's see. Gail says, what machine is that with the pivot function? So the machine that I have is a Viking Designer Epic 2. But most of Viking's machines now have that pivot function. So basically if you're in needle down position and you stop, your foot goes up, the presser foot goes up, and the needle stays down in, and you're able to move your fabric around so that you can, the needle stays in and the fabric stays put, and it's really super nice feature. It's called the sensor foot feature, but I love it. Love it. The machine that I'm working on though is the Designer Epic 2, but you can get, that function is pretty much on most of their machines right now. Let's see, any other questions? Okay, so I also want to show you, there is another pattern of mine that also uses the Links and Curves template set. And that one is the Slice of Pie. There it is, Slice of Pie. And something a little bit different about this particular quilt and pattern. And I want to put the quilt up for you so you can see. Let me show you what the quilt looks like. Here's the quilt. Okay, so if you see, I used multiple colors in this, and you can actually, with the template set, you actually can cut your pieces, become cut in half. Your bow tie pieces and your quarter circle pieces become cut in half. And in my next Watch Me Wednesday, I'm going to show you how to do that and mix it up to make the slice of pie quilt. So my quilt inspector, excuse me, buddy, sorry, he's sitting on my pattern. Okay, you need to lay down, bud. He was a little perturbed. I took it out from there. But that's my slice of pie pattern. And I'm going to show you on the next tutorial how to use the template set to even get more variety, more scrappiness, if you will. So that's pretty cool. So let's see. Carol's asking a question. Carol says, sorry, late. Does the template set have different sizes? The template set is one size, but you do have the ability to, and because my quilt inspector is down here, I can't give you the overhead view, and I apologize for that, but it does have lines on there, and it tells you what size strips to use if you want to make smaller. So you can, yes. So if that answers your question. And I'm so happy that he joined in on the Watch Me Wednesday today. He doesn't always join in. He just wants to be near me today for some reason. And I love that. Anyway, so that is, let me get rid of this here. And that is basically what I have for you today. I hope you really enjoyed it, but I do want to stress too that the design, you can really make your design your own too. It's kind of fun to play with on your design wall. You just have to make sure that you have equal amounts of backgrounds and colors, and it's going to be joined on the diagonal too, by the way. So, and in my pattern, in the pattern, you'll see, I know Quilt Inspector is perfect. He is perfect. I think he knows that too. But in the pattern, all my patterns, if you're not familiar with them, all my patterns are booklet style. So it's a nice booklet style with great graphics. And the quilt actually is joined on the diagonal. So it's just a little bit different setting. But I've done a few like miniature quilts that I've just kind of made the links kind of snake around into different ways. It's kind of cool that you can play with that. So let's see, what is Jessica saying? Jessica says, Quilt inspectors march to the beat of their own drums. LOL, yeah, they do. He is so sweet. He has no idea what's going on. He just wants to be near me, which is fine. Anyway, so I am so glad that you all joined in today. And again, if you wouldn't mind sharing the video, I would appreciate that. Links for you for the patterns and the templates are all in the description, so you can find them all there. The next Watch Me Wednesday will be showing you how to create it more scrappy by cutting those pieces in half. So you have half circles and half bow ties, and you just make it a lot scrappier, much more interesting, which goes with my slice of pie pattern. So I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, always feel free to ask, put them in the comments, and I am so happy you joined me. I love you all. Happy quilting today, happy hump day, and happy Quilt Inspector too. I think he's going to sit here for the rest of the afternoon and help me sew. He loves the hum of the sewing machine. So I will see you next time. Thanks for joining me, everyone. Have a great week. Bye-bye.